Standard Time right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Every day I stay on my grind and I hold it down till I'm not around. I'm asking for cash so I can eat. I grind so much that I hardly sleep.
Yeah, that's right, baby. We are back, and you're listening to the Original Sports Show, and I'm your host, Leopold Jeans, the Big OG, broadcasting live here on CRN Digital Talk Radio, baby. Give us a call. The number to call in today is 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. Me and my engineer, Matt, taking over the world 1 hour at a time. And we got a hot show. We're spitting some sports fire. We talk some sports. We talk some life. We talk some love. We're going to talk a little bit more about some sports here. That's right, baby. You know, I'm looking at the NFL, and there's a lot of things that go on in the NFL. And one of the things that I noticed is, you know, the NFL is a life of privilege. If you guys want to know the truth, you know, after your career's over, you make a Hall of Fame. There's no much more of a privileged group of elitist athletes in the world. NFL players, Hall of Famers, in their life of privilege. It's ridiculous. You talk about stuff getting swept under the rug, from Michael Irvin being the worst announcer ever, getting caught with a crack pipe in his glove compartment, and nobody saying nothing about it because he's a Hall of Famer. Shannon Sharp, you know, and his restraining order thing where he had that issue where he put his hands or something happened with that woman, and he didn't lose his job, and nobody said nothing about it, swept under the rug. Warren Sapp filing for bankruptcy. You know, it's not, well, I mean, that's just a money issue. Deion Sanders, you know, the one thing about Deion Sanders, you know, that's very interesting that I noticed is that he will be doing an interview talking about how great he is. It's like, Deion, you're doing the interview. You're supposed to be asking this guy questions. We all know you're great. We all know you're a tremendous athlete. But this guy talks about himself more than any other person doing an interview in all of sports. He will digress to himself every single time in any interview. And it's just the funniest thing ever. If you look for it, you'll notice it. You know, Warren Sapp, you know, the guy had 275 pair of Jordans and filed for bankruptcy. Interesting stat, 3 out of 4 NFL players file for bankruptcy. I thought that was just devastating when I saw that. Warren, in particular, owed $6.7 million to creditors and backed child support and alimony among the debts. Sapp says he owed $853,000 to the IRS for 2006 and another $89,000 in 2010. Sapp said he also owes $2,858 in medical bills for corrective speech and language therapy. He also claims that he lost his 2002 Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Bucks and his national championship ring with the Miami Hurricanes. Now, one of my favorite TV shows is Pawn Stars, and me and my ex-love used to go, and every time we were in Vegas, we would go there. And there is a Tampa Bay Bucks Super Bowl ring and a Miami Hurricane championship ring in there. They don't tell you who gave them and where they came from, but being a sports guy and knowing what I know, don't think I didn't notice that. And those guys know me because I've been in there a few times. They actually had us on the show, like as extras. They wouldn't let us leave the pawn store. But it's a great little history spot, you know. But anyway, back to the topic. You know, Warren Sapp, man, and all these players, you know, let's look at the statistics surrounding bankruptcy and these athletes in the NFL. You know, first of all, the average career of a pro is approximately 3 years. On average, a player makes about $1 million a year. And that breaks down to a salary of about $35,000 a game. And 65% of the players leave the game due to career-ending injuries. And 320 veteran players lose their jobs every year. Even though they make an average of about $3 million over the course of their careers, you know, after the 2-year stint, 78% of them declare bankruptcy. That is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? How could you mismanage your money to that extent? You know, I don't get it. And some of the most notable bankrupt football players, Johnny Unitas, you know, he didn't make any money back then, but he declared bankruptcy in 1991 due to a bad business decision. He earned $4 million over his career, pretty much. Won one championship. Deuce McAllister earned $70 million. Declared bankruptcy in 2010 on account of bad business. Dermontti Dawson didn't win any championships, but earned $55 million. Declared bankruptcy in 2010 due to failed real estate ventures. Michael Vick earned $130 million and lost it all. Lawrence Taylor earned $50 million. Declared bankruptcy in 1998 due to drug abuse and tax evasion. You know, Lawrence Taylor's an open book, and that whole case with that underage prostitute, apparently just got resolved this week, and it was thrown out or something happened. He didn't face any charges. You know, when you're a public figure, you really don't have any privacy, and the whole thing with Lawrence Taylor is, he's an open book, and people actually love him for that. They respect him for that, but the whole. Yeah, I don't even really want to talk about that. It's so disgusting. Mark Brunell, $13 million, declared bankruptcy in 2008. Travis Henry earned $20 million, lost it all, legal issues. Charlie Batch lost all his money, made $13 million. You guys need to. These NFL teams need to acquire a money manager for these players and say, hey, what are you investing your money in? What are you spending your money on? Do you own your house? Is your house paid for? What do you owe in your house? How many houses do you have? And all these guys aren't living in California, so they're not buying $1 million properties. I mean, you could buy a house in South Carolina for $200,000. That's like nothing. You can't find anything in California for $200,000. And you'd have to ask Ken Michaels at a mortgage makeover in the show next door. My main man, Ken Michaels, who's not yelling today, by the way. Normally he's yelling. He yelled at me before the show, though. He's always yelling a little bit, talking about the Lakers. Speaking of the Lakers, what's going on with the Lakers? What was the Lakers? What were they thinking? The deal with Time Warner is a great project, great money maker. But what about the other half of your fans that don't have Time Warner cable? What about the people that have DirecTV and Dish and no cable? You can't watch the Lakers on KCAL anymore because KCAL sold out. And we're going to talk about that when we come back on the Original Sports Show. What was the Lakers organization thinking? And will we have a boycott similar to the Dodgers if they don't get this unscrewed by Tuesday? Their first game's on TBS Tuesday, and then their second game is on Time Warner Sports on Wednesday. So we're wondering if this is all going to be resolved. Because I know if I don't get the Lakers, we're going to have an issue. And we'll talk about that some more when we come back on the Original Sports Show, baby. We will be back. And I'm your host, Leopold Jeans, broadcasting live on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
The Original Sports Show is sponsored by Maui & Son.